Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of What If Naruto Found an Ancient Power in the Scroll of Sealing. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and stay tuned for the rest of what is coming your way over on Anime King and Anime King 3. Yes, that is correct. If you're new, I indeed have 3 channels, and Making 2 and Making 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So stick around for those and go ahead and turn on that bell notification. Links will be in the description, so go ahead and check them out guys. And if you enjoy, press that subscribe button. So yeah, remember to share to all of your friends in social media platform. And without further ado, what is to begin this new episode start? The intro. So the last spot we left off, Shizuka and her brother was waiting for Naruto as he came downstairs. He decided not to lie as he sat down and told them everything. Shizuka was rather upset, as if she had known this earlier, as she was also crying, knowing that he lived such a hard life, even though he left out the facts about the Kyuubi. But still, knowing that he grew up that way, it didn't sit right with her. Because her and her brother were the only ones alone. They didn't have parents, so they understand not growing up without a parent. But it was time that Naruto moved on, as he was gonna make his way back towards the Hidden Leaf, as there were still people there that would miss him. So with that, he decided to make his way home by saying goodbye. As Naruto made his way towards said house, after arriving at said house, given that it's only been a few days, the Hokage was quickly notified by Yujiro. But she watched Naruto as she watched him clean his apartment, without even lifting a finger as she was confused by the action. She told the Hokage all of this though. As Naruto decided to enter some of the more members of Minato, that is when he saw Minato with a baby, as he was moving through the forest, saying that a man had attacked. Naruto wasn't sure what was going on, but he felt a feeling of dread and fear, as he told Kushina to hold on as he moved with the baby in his arms. As Naruto was woken up by Yujiro, saying that he didn't sleep much, as he was told to report to the Hokage's office, as he had sat down with Harrison as he told him a lot. Not to mention Naruto did not like the way Harrison referred to Kurama as it, as Harrison realized that Naruto has become strangely friends with a fox. So they spoke to one another as Naruto told him everything about his newfound powers and abilities, as he would like to rejoin the academy. As Harrison didn't see any problem with that. He's only been gone for a couple of days, but it turns out that he had great mastery already, but he still didn't have full control over his power. So Naruto made his way towards the academy, saying that he looked a lot different from his sudden growth birth. Most people did not recognize him, as they did not know who he was, considering that Sakura asked him to politely move so that she can sit next to Sasuke, who didn't want her sitting there. As Naruto realized he was a fool for liking her, because now her attempts just seem rather amusing to him. So with that, he kindly explained to her, in a way that she would understand that Sasuke didn't want her sitting here. Iruka then came in and greeted Naruto as he recognized him after a while. The kids erupted as they were shocked. So with that, Naruto was placed on Team 7 with Sakura and Sasuke, as Sasuke wanted to know what was going on with his changes, as Naruto got him around to make him follow him, as they went to Ichigo Ramen afterwards. So with that, they met up with Kakashi, as Kakashi was forced to come here early because of Harrison, as the man had threatened something rather precious of his if he was late for the meeting. So when they all arrived on the field, Sasuke wondering how Naruto kept on teleporting and reaching here before them. After all, there was no humanly way he was that fast. As Kakashi pulled out 3 bells, he told them they would have to take the bells off his corpse. So yeah guys, that's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check for yourself. So, what do you say begin this new episode? Kill you? Sakura said that stutter as she looked towards her new sensei. In response, Kakashi simply nodded. Yes, kill me, or at the very least, try to retrieve the bells with everything that you got in your arsenal. Now I will give you a breather for 5 minutes to discuss with your teammates the best action of taking this bell, and then you attack. But she was cut off as Sasuke raised his hand in front of her face. Got it, said Sasuke. Very well then. Now go, said Kakashi. With that, the three of them vanished into the surrounding trees, as Kakashi calmly made his way towards a tree and leaned against it. Over in the bushes. No, obviously. We don't want him dead, said Naruto. He's our sensei. He's our teacher. It's just not right to kill someone who hasn't trained us yet. Not to mention his order can be interpreted a different way. Come at me with everything that you got, and take these bells from me with any means necessary. That is what he was saying anyway, considering his position. He was just telling us to kill him to distract our minds for a bit. So, in that in mind, we have to... Naruto pause. Why are you guys looking at me like that, he said, as the both of them were giving him odd looks. Well, we just didn't expect that you would be, this, said Sakura. What this, said Naruto. What she's trying to say is that we didn't know that you had this intelligent part of you. It's surprising and rather striking, said Sasuke, as Naruto realized he was probably correct, considering how he used to act. I'm going to take that as a compliment. So can we focus on what is important now? The both of them nodded, prompting him to continue. As I was saying, we have to work together here. That's the whole purpose of this test. In his mind, a couple of fresh Johnnies like us don't have the capability to bring down a seasonal Johnny like himself. So he would expect diversions and deceptions. Exactly the two things in my plan. He will see it coming, but he would not be able to stop it from happening. Well, what's your plan then, Sasuke said, as he had to admit he was curious, as Naruto simply smirked in response. Meanwhile, as Kakashi looked towards the watch, 3 minutes and 42 seconds, he watches Sasuke walk out of the forest. Oh, it's you, Sasuke. I thought that Naruto would be the first one to come out. Sasuke merely smirked before he went through hand sign, as Kakashi's lone eye widened, fire style, fireball jutsu, as Kakashi flashed away into a nearby tree. For Sasuke to start close-up combat. Interesting, he said, looking around, as he felt a sensation as he turned to see Naruto behind him. He tried to use Sunshine only for the blonde to grab his arm, disabling whatever move he could have made, as Naruto thrust his palm forward, as Naruto released a kinetic energy that sent Kakashi flying, blowing away the trees. Kakashi had no control over his body as he was launched away, but his control came back at the last moment as he quickly made a hand sign and Sunshine out of the way. He teleported to the middle of training ground. He used a few seconds that he had to recuperate, but moments later he saw a kick from Naruto coming down. He pulled a kunai as Naruto kick made contact. The kunai cracked as he realized that Naruto's body was suspended in mid-air. He was floating. As Naruto smiled at Kakashi. Well, said Kakashi as he gave my eye a smile. It seems you can fly. As Naruto chuckled. Do you really have to state the obvious? As Kakashi jumped away, but Naruto flew towards him in a frightening speed. Kakashi pulled another kunai as he gripped it. As Kakashi charged towards him, the sound of clanking kunai as both of them clashed on the field as Sakura and Sasuke watched the scene unfold in front of them. Naruto's style of fighting was exquisitely unique because he could fly. His foot was not rooted to the ground, and he's able to use his body in a way that a normal human could not, because they could not fly. As he was twirling in almost all directions, and in doing so, he was barraging Kakashi with every punch, every kick, which were now unpredictable due to the erratic movements that he used. But Kakashi has been a Jonin for a long time now, and not to mention his reflexes were on point. But despite being able to avoid them, it didn't mean that he could take Naruto's speed, as Naruto seemed to only be getting faster and stronger as well. But to people like Sasuke and Sakura who has never seen real combat before, the only thing they saw was blur. As the two shinobis were moving so fast, they couldn't really see what was going on, as they could only sit still and watch, their mouth gaping. As Kakashi jumped back as he went through hand sign, as a spectral lightning dog was created and charged towards the blonde. Well, he's not beating her in the bush, is he? Said Naruto, as he outstretched both arms. The beast rushed towards Naruto, as it hit him right in the chest and exploded in a bright blue spark. But there was not even a wound or gash on Naruto. But his face twinkled a bit in pain as lightning crackled around him. Damn it, Kakashi cursed. He didn't know that the blonde would take it on. But Naruto simply grinned as Kakashi realized he was fine. Hey guys, get to higher ground immediately, said Naruto. Shortly after his order, Naruto leaped in the air. Sakura and Sasuke leaped up in the trees. As Naruto then came down and slammed his fist in the earth, a kinetic shockwave was blasted outwards. Shit, as Kakashi leaped away, running from the shockwave that exploded the trees, rooting them out of the ground. The training ground was a mess from just a single punch. Kakashi was able to take a breather for a single second as his instincts kicked in as he jumped away. Seeing that, Naruto stomped his foot in the ground and the kinetic energy blasted the ground up. As Kakashi was in mid-air, Naruto shot off his foot that he used to stomp the ground, using it for extra speed as he pushed it forward. As he slammed the fist right into Kakashi, but his hand broke into a log as Kakashi substituted. Should have known, said Naruto as a kunai was placed at his throat. Eel, said Kakashi. Sure, I got what I was ordered to do anyway, said Naruto. Kakashi's eyes widened as he immediately checked the belts, but he had them. As he saw Naruto smirking, no, it can't be, as he took the belts and crushed them as they poofed away. It was a clone that was transformed? Indeed, the real ones are in the hands of Sakura. I'm sure I don't need to explain when I took it from you, said Naruto. Kakashi chuckled. No, you do not, he said, as Naruto gestured for the others to come out. Sasuke had a smirk on his face as Sakura was smiling as she held the belt proudly. Well, it seems you don't need to be told the true purpose of this test, said Kakashi. Yes, your order is just a fluke. Kill me means that we have to attack you with all that we have. Ninjutsu, Genjutsu, Taijutsu, or something other. Something that is within our capabilities, said Naruto. And what you really want us to do is find other means to get bells from you, seeing that we're newly made genin and you are jonin, said Sasuke. And so the true purpose of the test is for us three to concoct a plan to get the item and not to defeat you, said Sakura. As Kakashi smiled under his mask. Then, it's official, he said. We are Team 7 now, he said. As Naruto smiled along with Sasuke, as Sakura jumped in the air in celebration. You guys passed the test, but let me say this first. It does not get easier from here. So I expect you to be surprised if I give you some rudimental training once in a while. But we would do some training in conjunction of some missions as well, to get you familiarized with how the shinobi system works. And while I might be lenient sometimes, when I turn serious I expect you to do the same. Got it? As the three of them nodded. Very well for now. Team 7 is dismissed. I'll see you here tomorrow at 9. He then started to walk as he paused. Oh, but you may forgive me if I arrive rather late. I have some work I need to do, he said. In order to avoid further questions, he flashed away at Shanshin. Well, I have no doubt that he will be late. But regarding to the work, it was quite satisfactory, said Naruto. As Sasuke smirked. But Sakura had a look on her face. Yeah, but that power you have, it's quite amazing. I mean, you can fly. That alone really surprised me. Oh, said Sasuke. So you figured that out, said Naruto. Yeah, that's how you keep on disappearing all the time. You flew away. That's how you got to the roof faster than us. And that's why you disappeared from the ramen place and got here before us. As Naruto smirked. Well, you can be judge of that, he said. I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? As he flew away before they could ask any questions. As Sakura looked up as she watched him leave. Well, the dope has gotten interesting, Sasuke thought. I wonder how I would fare up against him in the future. I haven't been this excited since. He closed his eyes as a certain memory flashed into his mind. Since that time, he thought to himself. As he walked away from Sakura, was still looking up, in shock that Naruto could fly. Time skip. As Naruto sat down in his apartment, he closed his eyes. I guess you want to talk about that dream, said Kurama, when he saw Naruto appeared. And Naruto nodded. This memory, it is exactly like it is, isn't it, said Naruto. Instead of physically being in his shoes, I was there. I was in his mind. I felt it, his anger towards someone who took away what was most important to him. That particular memory, said Kurama, as he went quiet for a few seconds. It's the same point when I arrive at Konoha. Why would he be outside of the village then? If he knew, why wouldn't he be there to strategize something? I think it's time, Kushina. Kurama relayed the thought to the other inhabitant in Naruto's psyche. No, it's not. This memory is as close as the one as you wanted to experience. Let me do the explanation, but this is for your own good, Kushina, said Kurama as he cut her off. No matter how brave you think you are, your recent behavior show how uncertain you are. Like always, you need a small push. As he used a bit of his power to prevent her from manifesting herself. Oh, and this is for the time that you chained me in your psyche for several months. Wait, that's your own fault. You took control of my body without my consent when Minato and I were having sex. He had to be treated by Tsunade for a week afterwards. You should be thankful. By my observation, from your previous sexual endeavors. Before that time, I found out that Minato didn't have a strong enough seed to impregnate you. And through my help, your son was conceived by that act. What? Say Kushina. I'll give you more information later and you can yell all you want. But now, this has to be done. You bat, he cut her off. Kurama turned to Naruto, who didn't notice because the mental conversation he had with Kushina was rather fast. Now, to fully understand, we have to start at the beginning. As Kurama showed him another memory of Minato and the redhead girl. But this time they were married. Huh, that girl became his wife, huh, said Naruto. Yes, I believe you saw her before. She was a kunoichi rescued from being kidnapped by Kumo. Her name is Kushina Uzumaki. No wonder Kumo tried to kidnap her, said Naruto, as Naruto realized that she was Kurama's second Jinchuriki. So, what does this have to do with me anyway? Because she seems so familiar to me. Or perhaps it's just because of Minato memories. That's because she's your mother, said Kurama as he was blunt with it. As Naruto took a few seconds to understand what he was saying. Well then, said Naruto in a rather calm tone, unless she cheated with another man, that would make Minato no Mikaze my father, right? True, he was your father. The memory that you saw with so much anger coming from him is when he was going to save you and his wife. From who, Naruto asks. Kurama summoned a bell as it binged, as the memory came in like a water drop, from a man who claimed himself to be Uchiha Madara. As Naruto watched Minato interrupted what the masked man was going to do. As Naruto saw the Sharingan, Kurama was brought out of Kushina, and the masked man turned his Sharingan on the beast and caused him to wreak havoc in the village. That ended up with Naruto having Kurama steal inside of him, and both his parents dying that night. As Naruto lowered his head, I guess they sacrificed themselves for me, huh? Something every parent would do. In that situation, they did. They love you. If there was any other option, they wouldn't have sealed me inside of you. But it was the only way. What happened afterwards, said Naruto? You were thrown by the old coot, and of that moment he created the rule of those who knew about your status not to reveal it to you. A rather stupid law if I have to say. But then again, the old monkey put the safety of the village first. The needs of one cannot outweigh the needs of many, they say. I guess that's true, said Naruto. It's not like you can put one before 1,000. One people against 1,000. Huh. Well, I'm glad that my parents is not some bad people that I used to hear when I was growing up. Who abandoned me, said Naruto. Kid, I'm fine, Kurama. I am, said Naruto, as he was still looking down. You're lying, said Kurama. I can see right through you. Well, I guess you're right about that, said Naruto. I'm not alright. I'm angry, sad. I guess I don't know exactly what I'm feeling. Would feel better if I could enter that memory and beat that masked bastard though. Well, at least that clears up what that dream is all about. But I assume that the memories will still manifest. Yes, but instead of just seeing what he was seeing, you will be him in the visions. That is a sign that your merger with the doppelganger is being complete. Well, at least that means all of this will be over in the near future, huh? Thanks for this, Grandma. It was really helpful. As Naruto was about to walk away, wait. As Naruto glanced towards the beast, there's a couple of things that you need to know. Well, it's just in my opinion, but that masked man aura felt different from Madara Uchiha. I'm not saying that it's not him, but that is just something that you might want to know. Alright, said Naruto. What else do you want to speak about? Well, this time it's not me who wants to speak to you. Chains shot from behind Kurama and grabbed him as he yanked him to the ground and restrained him. Jeez, not this again. Do you really need to do this? Said Kurama, as Naruto realized he was not talking to him. That is for not telling me the truth of what happened that night, you bastard. As Naruto heard the voice of a woman, as Naruto walked, so that he could see behind Kurama as he saw the woman. Through the Fort Kage memories, Naruto could identify her as Kushina Uzumaki, the wife of the fort, his birth mother. Alive and kicking right in front of his eyes. She looked rather scared as her hair was flying all over the place, in 9 sections. It almost looked like it was made out of red flames. Had I been given a chance, I would have gladly told you why, said Kurama, as he tried to break free of the chains, but to no avail. But no, you came towards me back then and just chained me down. And I didn't get a chance to explain, so part of the blame is on you, said Kurama. But why didn't you tell me beforehand? If we had a discussion, you wouldn't be able to say yes. For all of your hot-headed attitude, I know you're not comfortable talking about sex, let alone would you agree to my proposal. Kushina stuttered a bit. Well, she said after a moment. That didn't stop you from at least trying, she said, as she then went quiet. Well, do you have anything else you want to say? Asked Kurama. If not, please release me. This is very uncomfortable, he said, as she blushed in embarrassment and still bind him with a chain. You're stubborn as ever, said Kurama. She took several breaths as she calmed herself. It was then that she finally looked up, as she saw him looking at her. Hey, you mind telling me what's that all about? All I got from that is that Kurama did something that made you rather furious, and that it was a problem that relates to your sexual life. As Naruto cursed, damn it. Sometime I hate this deduction ability of his, as he rubbed his forehead. Kushina was not sure what to say to her son who just saw her go all gun-ho on Kurama. Let's just start over, said Naruto. This is much too awkward. But first, could you please remove those shackles from him, he asked. Out of embarrassment, she did so, as she glared at him though, with a look to say that this is not over, which just made him grumble a bit. Alright then, now that we all calm down, said Naruto as he started to walk forward, let us straighten things out. You are my mother, are you not? Yes, my son. I'm your mother, she said. But I thought that you were dead. I saw what happened to you in the fort. Are you really my mother? Naruto, she said. I am. I am your mother. Why do you doubt me? Well, I do not doubt your identity as my mother. I've seen you through his memories after all. But what I doubt is if you're my real mother, or just a choker, doppelganger, like what the fort placed my seal. She's a real deal, kid. She's not a mere doppelganger. She was lucky enough not to be consumed by the seal, fusing with your body, and she was able to come out. Then you are my mother, and not some Romanian fragment. Kushina's eyes started to tear up. Yes, I am, she said. His lips slowly curved up, as he was happy that she was not just some choker copy that his father had placed. As he moved forward and hugged her. I'm sorry for doubting you, Mom, he said. Tears poured from her eyes. It's alright, my son, she said. It's alright. When they finally released each other, Naruto was the one to speak first. It's strange, he said. What is, she asked. The feeling of knowing you after so many years. It's enlightening, but rather saddening. Though the thought of knowing who you are, it makes me happy. It also made me happy, she said, to see you all grown up. I couldn't ask for anything more. Thank you, said Naruto, for letting me meet her, as he turned towards Kurama. No problem, kid. But if the decision was left to her, she wouldn't have never considered herself ready. Yes, I would, she said. Naruto sighed softly. Well, it's been nice, but I have to go, to collect myself, you know. Of course, she said. Come back whenever you're ready. As he nodded and left his side. As the place went quiet, as Kushina wiped her tears. Thank you for that, she said. But we're still gonna talk about what you did back then. Fine. I guess after 12 years you deserve to know the details of what happened, said Kurama. Time skip 2 days later, as Sakura and Sasuke were currently trying to work out how they could stabilize the chakra in their feet to walk on water. Sakura was having an easier time than him, so Kakashi ordered her to stay as long as possible to see how long it would last, and how long she would be able to maintain the chakra flow. So far, Sasuke could just maintain for several seconds, and even then it was a bit shoddy. Though he can understand why. Compared to normal kids his age, his chakra reserves can be considered big, and it was harder to control. Repetition and revision is the key. Thought Sasuke to remember what Kakashi said, as it was actually working, and not to mention Sakura has been giving him some insight. Who knew that she could be this helpful? He wouldn't say it out loud, but he was still surprised. A couple minutes later, Team 10 entered training ground. Asuma and his 3 genins. Kakashi, Asuma greeted. Ah, Asuma. I assume that it's time. Yeah, sorry about this, usually. We will use training ground number 11, but it's being used. What's going on, Sensei? Asked Sakura, as she saw Team 10. He turned towards her. Today, we will be sharing a training schedule with them, since your place is being used by another team, because apparently someone used your training ground in the dead of night, and this person managed to destroy everything all around the place. We're going to share a bit. I think I heard some explosions. Was that related to training ground 11? Asked Sakura. Who knows, he said. Well, regardless, here we are, Kakashi. Let me introduce you to my students. Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akimichi, Ino Yamanaka, said Kakashi, much to Asuma's surprise. In addition to reading my team dossier, I also read several others, including yours, so introduction is not necessary. Asuma's sweat dropped. Your paranoid attitude never changed, Kakashi, he said. It's not paranoia, it's just a good evaluation, said Kakashi. Hey, Shikamaru, Ino whispered. Huh? What is it? This guy is scary. I mean, he even read our files. If that's not paranoia, I don't know what to call it. I don't know. I kinda like what he did. This way, the introduction process is skipped entirely. So there's nothing to complain there, said Shikamaru. Yeah, said Choji. I mean, we already know each other from the academy. Why should we reintroduce ourselves to our friends? It was then that Ino paused when she noticed. Sasuke, can't she yell? Ino picked Sakura yelled back, as she wouldn't allow her to get near to Sasuke. As Asuma and Kakashi sighed, as the 2 girls started to fight. Sorry about Ino, she does that sometimes when he's around. Before this becomes problematic, why don't we just start the training schedule? Sure, said Kakashi. Hey, where's your other student? He's a little late, but I'm expecting him to come anytime. Kakashi was cut off as they heard a whistling sound as they turned to see an object flying towards them from a far distance. What's that? Is it a bird? Asuma said. I don't think so, Sensei, said Shikamaru. It's a flying apparition of some kind. I don't think that's a bird or a machine, said Ino as she squinted her eyes. Their curiosity was answered as the flying object arrived at the location. Though, they were still shocked when they saw that Naruto landed. But Naruto's feet dug into the soil as he created a rather large trench. Though from the eyes of the member of Team 10, it looked quite cool. Naruto, arrive at last, said Kakashi, as he pretended not to notice the look on Asuma and his team face, or the method that Naruto used to reach here. What took you so long? I couldn't sleep, said Naruto. I've been doing a lot of training since 2 AM this morning. I only realized I should be here an hour ago. Just now, hence the spectacle. He then turned to Team 10. How are you? He said. We're fine. Thank you for asking, Asuma said. Good to know. So I assume that we'll be having a training session with Team 10, said Naruto. Yes, we are, said Kakashi. Kakashi, can you explain something first? About what, Asuma? Oh, I don't know, said Asuma in a sarcastic tone. How about you explain for starters what we just saw? Be specific, said Kakashi. As Asuma's eyes started to twitch. Kakashi, don't worry me. How did he do that? Why don't you ask him? After all, he's right there. It would be rather rude of me to take the pleasure of explaining his power. He's right, Sasuke said, as this surprised Ino a bit, seeing that Sasuke didn't talk mostly. He doesn't mind anyway. Asuma turned towards Naruto, who shrugged. It's my ability, he said. It's complicated to explain the whole thing, but to put it simply, it's a telekinesis power that is similar to a bloodline limit that I got from an external source. I see, Asuma said. Well then, let's just start, shall we? He said, still shocked at all of that. Agreed, said Kakashi. Time skip. Why did I end up with him? Ino thought, as she looked towards a powerful blonde. When Kakashi and Asuma decided to pair them up, as Naruto chose that he wanted to be paired up with Ino, he wanted to talk to her about something. Of course, Asuma and Ino were confused, but Asuma agreed, and Ino did so with reluctance. Sorry for asking so suddenly, but I got a question that might be solved with your intellect, he said. That was what he said when they moved to our area to talk privately. So, she said, what do you want to talk about? I want to talk about your clan, signature jutsu. Why? It's not like you can learn it, she said. I don't want to learn it, said Naruto per se. But I want to know what you feel when you activate it. So I can learn a feeling similar to yours, that made my power manifest in a different way. Yeah, speaking of that, what exactly is your power? I mean, the flying thing is awesome, but it doesn't really explain that much. Naruto pointed his hand towards the tree, as he decided to show her rather than explain. The wings start to increase, as the leaf were blown off the tree as Naruto caught them all, as they twirl. They twirl in a rather beautiful sight, as Ino watches they flip and whoop through the air. Whoa, said Ino, in complete shock. Just a bit of clarification, this is not Aerokinesis, or am I using any Winjutsu? I use my telekinesis power to grasp the air around me, and move it any way I want. Whoa, that's just incredible. But what does that do with my clan jutsu, she asks. He releases control of the air. It's because I believe my power can be manifested in a way similar to yours, but different. What do you mean? The purpose of your jutsu is to switch place to your enemy by overwriting the essence in your body, and you dominate said body, and you take over their psyche. I believe I can do that. But how, she asks. Exactly, that's the question, how, said Naruto, as Ino was now confused. That is why I need your insight on this. My friends and other acquaintances don't exactly have what I need. Well, what do you want me to do then, she asks. I want to know the feeling that you get when you dominate one's mind. Oh, she said, so that you can emulate the feeling in order to somehow extend your mental control to someone else's mind. Correct, said Naruto. Could you do that for me, he asks. Well, she thought to herself, there's no harm in telling him. We're allies. It's not strange for allies to share things like this, and it's not exactly forbidden. And I'm kind of curious, can he really do what he thought he can do? Alright, she said, but on one condition. Name it, said Naruto. If this does work, you have to think, no, you have to believe I never helped you. It's not forbidden to tell what to feel like when I use my jutsu. But if you end up with the ability similar to what we can do, and people know it, there will be some people that suspect that someone is leaking clan secrets, and it will be rather unpleasant to say the least. Fair enough, said Naruto, your involvement won't be known. You can be sure of that. Alright, she said. When I use that jutsu, the best word to describe the feeling is trippy. What, said Naruto, as he didn't really expect that answer, as Ino chuckled slightly. Yeah, word, right? But here's why our jutsu work by releasing our consciousness and implant it into another living being. So for beginners, they will be told to imagine their soul leaving their body and moving on its own. Hence, the reason why I call it trippy. Simply enough. But I assume to those who aren't quite adept to your clan jutsu, they would have to imagine to the point of believing. What do you mean, she said? That they would have to imagine their soul leaving their body to the point they would actually make it work. I don't know. Father never told me about that, but I think that would work as well. As Naruto closed his eyes, as he started to emulate that feeling. Mother, Kurama, I'm disconnecting late now, said Naruto. Go ahead, son, said Kushina. But he did notice her disappointed tone of voice. You could make your displeasure be a little more subtle, Kushina, said Kurama. Go ahead, kid, said Kurama, as the link was cut. Alright, let's do this, said Naruto. Ino watched him as his eyes were closed. He was certainly taller, not to mention, know that he wasn't wearing that hideous orange suit. She could see how his body had matured, and he was a lot more calmer, mentally and physically as well. She didn't know what happened, as Naruto was an obnoxious boy, and yet he changed so quickly in a few days, to this complete different person. And how did he acquire such power? Before she could say anything else to herself, her head was hit with that small jolt of pain. Could this even work? Ino froze. No way. That can't be real. Who's there? Ino? Oh my god, Ino said to herself. You sound surprised by something. Is something the matter? How is this possible? She said out loud. What is possible? Be specific, said Naruto. It seems you're panicking. Ino shook Naruto in the real world. What's going on? Said Naruto. All of a sudden you panic. As Ino looked at him, he didn't know. Is this enough of an answer for you? She broadcasted her thoughts into his head. As Naruto realized her mouth did not move, but he heard her. Oh, so it works then, he said, as she could hear him as well. Yeah, like a charm. I can't believe it, what you said was possible. Nor do I, said Naruto. Try to relay your thoughts to me again. You mean you want to try to turn it off? Alright then, well, you're kind of hot, she thought. Alright, good, Naruto said. Despite Ino's silence, I was trying to turn it off, and it seems it worked. So, you can't hear my thoughts, she said. Now. Or the previous one. Yes. Thank you again, said Naruto. Your insight was very useful. Ino smiled. No problem, she said. Although I didn't thought it could work. This ability of yours is quite insane. The limits aren't clear yet, even when I try so much things with this ability. I'm not sure what is next, he said. Naruto, she said. Yes. If you don't mind, where did you get these powers, she asked. Somewhere far away from here, and the source is still unknown. Why do you ask, he said. I was just curious. I mean, I've never seen power like this before. I agree. It's rather awesome, isn't it? She couldn't help but giggle slightly. Well, that's one way to put it. Yes, said Naruto as he re-established a mental link. But this caused something to happen because the moment he re-established the link to Kurama, he overheard something. This again. As I said, it was merely a little biological manipulation. I merely strengthened his seed during the intercourse so that you could create an embryo. But doesn't that mean genetically he's a part of me, a part of Minato, and also a part of you as well? Well, if you want to get technical, then perhaps, yes. Give me a clear answer here, Kurama, said Kushina. Then tell me one other Beijo that has done something similar to what I did to you, said Kurama. There is no clear answer, Kushina. I only did that because I know how badly you wanted that child. And I thought with the situation back then. Fine, she said. I guess I owe you one. Think nothing of it. Although, if Minato was alive and knew about this, he would certainly take pleasure and revenge in knowing what you did to him. As Kurama chuckled, that was the funniest part. That's also the reason why you did that, wasn't it? Kurama chuckled again. What do you think? Bastard, said Kushina. As Ino saw Naruto bit his nose. What's wrong? Overhearing a conversation that wasn't meant to be heard, said Naruto. Never mind, he said. I was just, hey, you're bleeding. As Naruto wiped his nose, as he looked at the blood-stained fingers, he heard footsteps as he turned to see Kakashi. So, how's your training going along? It went pretty well, don't you think, he said to Ino. Yeah, sure, but don't you think it didn't go quite well? Seeing that your nose is bleeding. It was the expected reaction. Nothing to worry about, said Naruto. Very well, though I'm curious what you wanted to ask her and what the hemorrhage was about. But I have a feeling like you won't relay that information to anyone yet, even me. Your feeling is correct, said Naruto. I thought so. I'll let go of that attitude for now. Though if there comes a time where the information might be privy to the members of Team 7, I highly suggest that you do so. Agreed, said Naruto. Now, as much as this joint training has helped us, I will give you a mission that might put your skills to test. What is it, said Naruto. Well, you just have to come with me and see, said Kakashi. Moments later, as Hiruzen looked towards the figures in front of him. Mind telling me what happened, he said. As Team Kakashi and Team Asuma was there, as they just complete a mission involving a certain cat. Besides Kakashi and Asuma, Naruto, Shikamaru and Sasuke, the rest of them were covered in dirt. Asuma suggested that we help his team capture Tora, since he couldn't forget how hard it was to capture Tora's grandmother when he was a genin, and he didn't want our students to suffer the way him and his team suffered back then. As Asuma glared at Kakashi, I agreed. I think it would be good for my team to know about this cat and about the deal of being a part of a larger team. But out of all of them, I think Naruto and Sasuke are the exceptional ones, as they were the ones that followed through and concocted a plan to capture the cat. And the others, well, along with Shikamaru, as Shikamaru simply yawned, as Hiruzen realized the Naru was just being too lazy. The cat family has been a bane for 3 generations, always being a problem to all genins. But somehow, this one softened up to you, said Asuma. Is that a problem, said Naruto. Technically it's not, said Kakashi, as the cat was on Naruto's shoulder, as it was rubbing its face against his cheek. But considering those who went through the hardship to capture the damn cat, well, as Naruto shrugged as he petted the cat, either way the mission is complete. Can't we just get our payment and get it over with, said Sasuke. Agreed, said Shikamaru. The sooner this is done, the better. What they said, said Naruto. Very well, I shall give you your payment. And by the way, Kakashi, there's something I must discuss with the Jonin. Meet me 3 hours from now. You as well, Asuma. Alright, you heard them, said Naruto, as the cat jumped down. Now be good, he said, as the two of them had let it stare off, as the cat jumped towards the decks. As Naruto was curious what the old man wanted to talk to the Jonins about. On the other hand, Sasuke was wondering what happened, as in the beginning the cat was getting away. The thing was moving fast. It seems like it knew everywhere around Konoha, going through nooks and crannies. Even with their plan, they were unable to catch it. But then Naruto grabbed the cat's head. It was fighting until it went perfectly still. It then started to shake rather violently, like something had scared it. It was then that it returned to a loving cat and started to purr at Naruto's feet, like it's known him for a long time. It was just weird. What exactly did you do, Naruto? Sasuke thought. Unbeknownst to Sasuke, Shikamaru also saw what Naruto did, and he was a bit bothered by Naruto's new personality. Time skip. So, you heard that, huh? Said Kushina, as she blushed in embarrassment. It was unintentional, but nevertheless, it did not lessen the awkwardness. You would have ended up knowing about it in due time anyway. The faster the better, said Kurama. I guess you're somewhat right. But what exactly happened to father? Judging by how mother said that he'd want revenge if he was alive, it wasn't exactly pleasant. Kurama grinned as he was about to say something. No, said Kushina. Trust me, son. You don't want to know. Due to his mother's reaction, Naruto decided to go against it, as she was probably right. Whatever horrendous thing Kurama did to his father was probably left for the unknown. Well, change of topic, the experiment worked. We know it did, and I for one couldn't be more excited to know that it works, said Kurama. Though not without costs. I can only use it for short moments. Something more testing will probably fix, said Naruto. But why are you so interested in this particular ability, Kurama? Divulging secrets with this ability, no matter how confidential, any information can be disclosed. And the advantage that you have, you don't need any hand signs or any physical movement to activate it like the Yamanakas. But it is still in the initial phase, said Kushina. Right now you can telepathically share your mind with others and control them to some degree. Given training and time and experiments, you will be able to develop, of course. But as she trailed off, as Naruto finished, but you're not really okay with me having this kind of power, are you? He said. Well, this power is dangerous, and it could be corrupting. Not to mention it made you hear that embarrassing thing. But I believe you, my son. I know that you won't be corrupted by it. As Naruto smiled, I know that there are limits, mother, and I will not overstep my boundaries. Though you say that, you already created a plan to test your new abilities by hijacking one of the Jonin's mind that will attend the meeting that the old man is keeping. Not to mention you planned it in less than a minute the moment you left his office. Were you prying my mind, said Naruto. I don't need to. We share the same body, and in return the same brain. The question is whether or not you're going through with this plan. I sense your hesitation, my son, said Kushina. You thought it would be wise to meddle with something that is not your problem, but in the end the choice is on you, not us. Time skip. As Naruto watched the group of Jonins in the waiting room, Kakashi and Asuma seemed to be already inside, as he didn't see them amongst the crowd. This is just getting more curious and curious. What seemed to be the problem the old man wants to talk about? They were told to go inside the office, as Naruto made eye contact with one of the Jonins, and it happened. The man rubbed his eyes as he paused a bit. Hey, you okay? One of his friends asked. Yes, I'm fine. As the man walked in, as Naruto wiped the blood from his nose. If that is your choice, then see to it. To the end, my son, said Kushina, as Naruto started to regulate his breathing before he closed his eyes. Once he opened his eyes, he was in the meeting room. Well, he was in the Jonin's body. It isn't a full mind control, he was merely sharing this perspective with the Jonin. Thank you all for coming on such short notice. Let me get straight to the problem. Land of Waves. Some of you might know this place, some of you might not. To enlighten those that do not, it's a small location in Hinokune, East Coast. Just a couple of hours ago, a message came from their leader. His name is Tazuna. He said that they have been building a bridge to connect them to the land so that traders from our village would have an easier way of reaching them and can reduce the cost of naval transportation. However, a group of bandits At first, a small number has been increased to suppress them at the moment, and this is where you come in. Kasuna asks a reinforcement from Konoha to liberate them from the bandits. But Hokage-sama, isn't it a bit too much to send a lot of Jonins for a couple of bandits? It would be so if this was a normal mission involving normal bandits. But what bothers me is the leader of the bandits. What do you mean, Hokage-sama? Asks Kurenai. The description of the bandit that he's a man with a tattoo of a flaming horse head, the eyes on fire, right on his left shoulder. As Naruto saw the Jonin's alarm, and a thought popped into his mind. A name, War Beast. I'm sure that all of you know about the War Beast. Some of you may have seen him in the third war, in the battle against the fort. If this information is correct, the reinforcement that Nami asks of us, well, they need it because they cannot handle this by themselves. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, remember to go ahead and check out Anime King and Anime King 3. If you're new, yes, I did have 3 channels, Anime King and Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day, guys, for you guys to enjoy. Links will be down in the description, so go ahead and check them out and enjoy. So without further ado, what do you say we get the hell out of here? See you guys soon, peace.